So we're just going to get into the subject at hand real briefly. And prior to doing that, I just want to say thank you in abundance to everyone who has came to this platform on this very fine day. I truly appreciate your presence. I appreciate your high vibrational energy. It is truly, truly respected. For all the newcomers who are here with me, I just want to say I truly appreciate you being here because you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here, and that I have an abundance of gratitude to you for that. But also, with that being said, would you please be able to hit that like, touch that subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this video. This is going to be short and sweet and to the point, right? We're going to be talking about the paradigm shift in this new age. Yes. Hold on 1 second. Pull my bro on.
Yo,
What's good, bro?
everything, man. I'm trying to get this together.
Absolutely. Do your thing. Do your thing. Bro is getting himself together, getting himself arranged and everything. Um, Also, for those who have been rocking with me for a minute, I truly appreciate your dedication. I appreciate your loyalty for even being here. It's truly, truly appreciated. So, like I said, we're going to be getting into paradigm shift into the new age, and my bro is going to drop some gems here for you guys. He's going to get himself situated for sure. Let me see. So I hope you guys been having a good weekend thus far. Absolutely. And with this great weekend that you guys have had, and I hope it gets catapulted into a wonderful week. Truly, truly. I truly hope so. How has your day been, bro?
My day has been amazing.
That's wonderful. That's what I like hearing.
Yeah, what's up?
Nothing much. Nothing much. Good to see you.
It's great to see you. Great to be seen.
Absolutely. You.
Yeah.
I don't know why you look like you sideways. You can.
Oh, am I sideways?
Yeah.
Oh, that's because I
Boom.
got this on the charger.
Perfection.
There
All
we
right. So I want to let you guys know about this fine gentleman that's in front of you.
go. Got it. Boom.
So this is my bro, right? He is extremely talented on a plethora of levels. On a plethora of levels in music. And I've been knowing him since high school. And he always exhibit excellence through all of his talents. He's like the silent assassin. He don't say much, but what he produce is so loud, and not loud and noisy. It's loud and melodic, and it gets your attention to where it captivates you in such a positive way, to where you have no choice but to engulf yourself in the presence of his radiance. And it's truly a pleasure to have my brother on my platform today. Thank you for being here with me, bro. Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime. Anytime. When you
Appreciate your kind words too, man.
at any time, it's the truth. You know what I mean? You have to give credit where it's due, and I have to give you your flowers. I have to give the ones that I respect the most their flowers, due to the simple fact that um, you know how they love to say you're worth more when you're gone. No, you worth a lot to me here, where we both breathe in the same air within the same time frame. I have to, you know what I'm saying, do my due diligence and let you know how respected you are, and I respect you tremendously. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Likewise. Definitely likewise.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, bro, let them know who you are, what you about, what you got going on.
Well, first, I just want to shout out to you for doing this. This is amazing. I tapped into a couple of your conversations, and I really, really enjoy what you're doing and the conversations you bringing out. That's really beautiful to see from you. You know,
Much appreciated. Gratitude. Gratitude.
definitely. Man, so much is going on. You know, we're all learning life at one time and still living. But it's a lot. Music, every type of way, every form of the word. But bigger than that, life. You know,
Hmm.
just life, man. Shaping it how I want, learning everything it is to learn.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have any new projects that you working on that you want people to know about?
Yeah, honestly. So I'm like literal. So like I'm working a lot with a lot of artists and a lot of just different music, and it's like I'm not big on promoting them myself for it. So it's like, we have marketing, commercials, different things. It's like
Hmm.
I go to the motto of just do the work. If I do the work, I don't need to say what's happening because you're gonna see. You know what I mean? If I open up a business tomorrow, you're gonna see a grand open next week. You know, it's gonna be outside. You're gonna really be able to see it. We don't never know who put a Walmart up. We just see them boys up, and you know what I mean? It's just open. So I live that type of way. So I really don't have much to say on what I'm doing. I'm building a lot with a lot of different artists. I'm thankful to be able to work with a lot of artists and build, music and just every type of form from stage. I'm more so like a live show arranging, so it's just constant. So, you know, that just never ends. That's why I say the bigger picture is more so like when you see a commercial from something you know is coming out. I really can't say like what's happening, but other than I'm working on a lot of music with a lot of dope artists.
That's amazing. That,
Yeah,
that speaks volume to your character. Like you feel as if like you don't really need to not it's not as if you feel like you're above the marketing, but you feel like it's organic. Just allow it to be what it is.
definitely
Whatever
not
it
above
is, do it.
marketing, but that's just the best way. Like we
Absolutely.
really never see. Uh, I mean, we see a coming soon sign, but the land has already been bought. The building is already there. We have to just watch it. So
Absolutely.
this kind of like the approach I take. Like just do the work and when it's out. I will say I dropped the project personally myself. Uh, and it's streaming everywhere on iTunes called Vape Tape. That's something I definitely want to say. My own project, produced by myself with my brothers. That's my own personal. Personally, the art that I make, I would want to shout out. But I just make so much with so many other people
Hmm.
that that's like the bulk of my time. But personally, VA88 streaming everywhere.
Absolutely.
Anybody can go check that out.
Vape
No,
tape, it would be in the description box. So that's why I'm here, so I can shout you out and promote you.
dope,
This is
dope.
organic. You feel what I mean?
And
So
that's a a real one right there.
absolutely. So vape tape out, stream it everywhere. So y'all better make sure that y'all tap in because it's essential. All right. I'm gonna have all his links in the description box below. So y'all make sure y'all tap in ASAP. All right.
Yeah,
So
appreciate that.
no worries. That's why we here. You know what I'm saying? We working as a collective. So with that being said, bro, can you enlighten us about, the new age and this paradigm shifting and this new energy that has been felt across the masses, whether they know it or not, or understand it or not? Give us a little insight.
It's so much.
Hmm.
I would have to say, like, so I only can speak personally. We all only can speak from our perspective and our personal walks on this earth. Um, I would say personally for me, and today is a special day. Like I had told you, we were supposed to do this yesterday, but for whatever reason, it happened today. And
Mhm.
like, man, so today is the ninth year, marks the 9th year of my brother passing. And 14, I lost my brother, and who's my partner with all of the music that I do and everything, and really just being a musician. Even before any instrument, I was with my brother learning, how to play stuff, whatever. Long story short, lost him in a car accident in 9 years ago. And on this day, that's what's crazy. On this day, 9 years ago, and that changed my whole perspective on life. And I was able to be in truth. Death is a horrible thing and beautiful. It depends on where you at in understanding. But I was able to just, okay, once death happens, you're in the truth. Like there's no lie available. It's like, no, this is, you have to learn the next part of life instantly. Or you could run from it, but it's there. So I would say, 9 years ago, I was able to I was able to go through a depression. I was able to go through uh, a life change. I was able to be reborn and able to change my able to really see what life was for like what I was seeing it as, and then what it was being presented to me as, and then able to see the difference, and then choose clearly what was real to me. And that's all it actually is real. What's real to you is what's real to you. I can learn from you, and what's real to me is real to me, and we can share that our experiences. That's really all it is. The illusion of something being real from someone else's perspective is always just another perspective. We all are carrying something real within us, and we can present it or not present it, but it isn't what is real to me. I can't force to be real to you. You get what I'm saying? I can only just we can only share that. But I would say that that's when I began this journey of coming out of the matrix, as we like to say. But that's what the whole that's when my paradigm really started to shift, and I didn't know it. I really didn't even realize that that's what it was called. That's what was happening. I'm thinking I'm going through life, lost my bro like everyone, like we all see, RIP and that stuff, but going through it was a different thing. And I think just in the last 2 years, I was really able to realize, like, oh no, I changed my whole life, my whole perspective, what I thought about ever. And I mean, you can ask me questions, but and I mean everything. The way I think about everything had changed, to just a more honest way of seeing it. Not from like the way they market it to us. Everything has been marketed to us. So to see something as it is versus what's being presented is a billion vision. And that's I've been able to grow in this 9 years. My vision, sharpening my mind, my hearing, how I learn, how I perceive things, and my discernment. I don't know if I
Absolutely.
answered the question, but far as paradigm shifting, that's when it began for me. I
Right.
could say.
And kind of like when you were talking about it and how you articulate it, and this is like the year of the nine for you from when your brother passed.
Uh-oh.
And nine for me always represent completion in some sort of way. And things like coming like full circle because it's like it's approaching the end. So like a new beginning is coming. And within this year of the seven, I feel like the number seven just brings like so much luck and like abundance in certain areas. So it's like you're ending a cycle, going into a new cycle of abundance from what you have learned through your paradigm shift through these four 9 years. So it's like coming together for you in order for you to see like the grand scheme of things, like everything that you've been working on, who you are in the present right now, or what like the outcome, and you achieving what it is in the future, and the manifestation of all your hard work and your labors and everything just putting into one. So is that a good analysis or?
No, that's spot on. Like that's really spot on. I can sense my whole like everything that I've learned is for what's happening now and what's coming. And it's like I know for sure what I know. It's like I'm graduating or I just graduated out of a portal that I was in that I didn't even choose to go into. But it's like that's just the evolution of life. But that's spot on. That's like definitely spot on. And that's why I said it's all crazy. I really didn't pay attention to how many years it's been. Even at that time was around like right now.
Mhm,
So it was like and it makes so much sense for this what's happening in my life in so many different ways. You know, so many ways I'm like headed to it. I'm like projecting to this next realm, and everything is different.
mhm.
My vision is different. My mind is different. How I respond to everything is different, and I don't know where it's coming from. But from saying all of this and hearing what you're saying, definitely makes sense.
Yeah, but it's more of you trusting yourself. It's more that intuition and discernment. It's like you have built like a beautiful relationship with your own intuition, instead of you being that typical consumer and just consuming everything what society wishes to throw at you. And the thing is, a lot of people don't question it. And probably before you didn't question it, you just took it for what it was. But then, when the shift occurred for you, then you started to contemplate, like, is that really for me? Am I really supposed to be digesting this the way that I have been before? And you saw those old results and you didn't want those outcomes anymore. You wanted something new. You wanted to produce what, that made you feel good. Because I can say for me, after I experienced um, a death, a lot of things changed for me as well. But
Mm,
within that death, it wasn't just the surface value of the death. It was like something in me had to die as well along with that, in order for me to be, reborn into what I needed to be, to where I am right now. So why I even, gave birth to this catalyst conversation. And I would never, what I'm saying, take anything away from my past, because that was absolutely essential for me to really understand, overstand where I am currently. So I can definitely resonate with what you're saying. So um within that being said, it's like nothing operates in a linear fashion for me. It's never linear. It always happened in like this beautiful randomness or spontaneity, and I appreciate it for what it is. But still, at the end of the day, it's like a unity consciousness. It's still like come together for as one. It's not separate. It's not, what I'm saying, so divided like I used to see it as. But now it's like everything is working for my highest good.
yeah, yeah, man. I love where you at, man. You know, I know you are. You know, this is your interview, but I have questions as well. I want to know, like, when did this start for you? Like this level of awakening that you on, or
When
level
did
of awareness that you in.
So I've always had an awareness, but I just didn't understand it, because I always knew that I was different. I always knew that I wasn't like, those that were around me. Like I appreciated the company that I kept, but I knew like I was like the most known unknown also. So it was very limited a lot of the times, because I will only operate in the spectrum that I was exposed to, but I couldn't really articulate who I was. You know what I'm
Wow,
saying? Because people wouldn't even be able to like relate, and I always wanted to, be relatable in some sort of way, and I didn't want that disconnection. When
got you.
I experienced like really traveling on my own, then that's when I start to really evaluate um my value without, you know, the social stigmas of others. So I just started to evaluate who I am, how I operate in various environments, what I like from what I didn't like, what I want to absorb from what I wanted to discard. And it was just like that balance for me and not for nobody else. So it's like I stopped living my life through the next man's eyes and start appreciating my own vision. If that makes sense. Um, then I went through like I mentioned before, it was a major death that had occurred,
Mhm.
and I really had to appropriately maneuver myself in that arena to understand what death really meant, you know, because it's not like they really died, you know what I'm saying? They actually elevated to a whole nother realm that's beyond, you know, my current comprehension at that time, you
And no
know.
one's teaching us that.
Correct,
No,
correct.
there's no teaching on that.
And the only way that I could really be in touch with that is me being in touch with myself, you know. So it's kind of like I had to break myself all the way down and rebuild like my foundation and rebuild like who I was and just and I'm continuing to build like I'm under construction currently, you know what I'm saying? I am, you know what I'm saying, a beautiful work of art. I am my own masterpiece and I'm just mastering peace, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah. No,
yeah,
no,
I'm
that's
journeying every day.
beautiful.
Hmm.
To touch on that, cause so that was 14, and then literally the next year, my older brother, it was really my mentor, he passed, right? So this is really what not really. It's like it all happened in like a year span. It was like back to back. And this one was different because, so like, I grew up in a Christian world, right? I was raised a Christian, and in this faith, they teach us that you, when you pray, whatever you pray for, you actually receive. And as far as our understanding, we believe. So this was a situation we was able to see the life about to leave, or was like everyone was just having a high prayer and high expectation for this person to not pass. And so I had come to a moment where I was seeing basically like the whole country praying for this one person so they could not be in the situation that there is. And still, you know, the higher will was for that, life to be taken. That's really when I really, really, really had a great understanding of like what we want on Earth versus what's actually happening. Like the sun is actually there, the moon is there. It's things happening beyond our control. We have to know this. And I was growing up in a place where you think that you can, God is in control, but if you pray for it, then he's on your side, so we can get God to do what we want. And it actually just not actually happening that way at all. Whereas we have to find ourselves in what they call the will, but there's like a purpose for everyone's, and we have to find out what that is. And according to whatever that is, can we make the best of life? Like whatever is actually natural and great about you is what you will be,
Right.
and actually what you do for yourself. So if the way we eat, and we want to live, it's like long life. We have to eat a certain way. It's not even nothing else. We can pray all day, but if I don't eat and put the things that I want to be in my body, so my body can be here, the words that I'm saying has no effect on it. It was then I would say that I had that really realization that I can keep myself here and I can take myself away from here. It's me keeping me here. There is something greater sustaining my breath, our breath. I'm not in control of that when I wake up. But far as me living and physical health, it's gonna be strategically on what I put on my body in every way. Food, thinking, what I see, what I drink. everything. So I've been in that space for about, I guess, 8 years, and that's helped with the whole how to. And I didn't know that this was, shift. This was paradigm shifting, taking your mind from a complete, you know, I would say 360, but it's really a 180 to turn completely away from where it was and go in a total different direction.
Mm.
And this is something I've been silently doing, and now like the whole world is on, self help, wellness, and mind. So it's like it's just a cool topic for everyone, but it's a real journey when you're by yourself. It's a real journey, and it's a great learning experience though.
Mhm.
But it's a long journey because if everyone else is thinking this way, it could seem wrong to think any other way or to understand things any other way if everyone is understanding things this way. So but I'm happy, I love it. I wouldn't choose any other life.
Mhm. That's true. A lot of my journey has been very sacred, like
I can see that.
yeah, I like this. I've mentioned it previous times, like even just being on live is very uncomfortable, you know but like I always say, I have to get uncomfortable in order for me to continue to tap into the various portals that's inside of me, because so many things that's still locked. Like I know that it's not blocked, but just locked. Like it's like me remembering like who I am and what I am really about, and not just settling for what somebody else want to narrate for me, but just really taking control of that author role for myself and just being just the authoritative figure for me, and not just putting me into somebody else's realm of responsibility. And it could easily be that way because it takes a lot of pressure off of you because you got somebody else. Your life is somebody else's responsibility, but why should it be that way when you're unique? At the end of the day, all of us have our own separate soul contracts that we have to fulfill. How are we going to fulfill them?
Literally.
You know
Literally.
what I mean? Like we all have our own different uniqueness, our own different traits and things of that nature. Why can't we find the time to figure that out for ourselves? Only we can unlock that. So this is unlocking for me. Like I'm unlocking so many things, so many conversations, pulling stuff out of myself, pouring it into people, and people, you know what I'm saying, pulling stuff out of themselves and just pouring it into me into abundance. And I have to be grateful for that. So like my dad always say, no man is an island. You know what I'm saying? So I can't just, because I'm real comfortable with being in my own bubble. But
Hmm.
in order for me to expand myself, expand my awareness of who I am, I have to, develop these conversations. And I was like, if I'm gonna, converse more with people, why don't I converse with the ones that I respect the most? Why don't I converse with the ones who I know had a positive impact on my life to get me to where I am right now so that I can go even further? Like this is, like our blueprint. It's like that unity consciousness, that oneness that I just keep telling myself, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just dominate my mind to achieve my goals at the end of the day.
Nah,
So
this is dope. And look, you're the perfect person to do what you're doing. You've been I don't know. I haven't seen all of your episodes, and I don't know everything that everyone know about you. But from when we was in high school and you being the drum major, you like I met you in the leadership role, and you've always like. First, I want to say, this is a sidebar because I paid attention to the musician world, marching band world. You definitely are the best drum major Martin Luther King ever had, right? Since I've been watching, and that's from like, what I mean, all of these years. But you've always had that presence of leadership in you, but the right way, not like forceful and not like, oh, I want to be in charge. It's always been a grace that you carry in what you're doing. So like I'm happy to see this side of it, the evolution of like who your spirit has always been. You know what I mean?
And I appreciate that, and I receive that. I receive that in its totality. And I'm gonna give a little backstory about receiving. So I used to be the one who didn't receive. I was the one that was the giver. I would give, give, give. So just like how, say for example, you gave me that, abundance of, gratitude and appreciation, I would be quick to, like, you know what I'm saying, like, put up a defense and throw it right back at you as if I'm not worthy of receiving, gratitude from others. Like I can only
I might be
dispense it.
like that now.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? But that creates voids and blockages. You know what I mean? So to alleviate, those blockages of wondering down the road why, certain things aren't being reciprocated because I'm giving my best self, but I'm getting back the complete opposite. I have to receive and I have to allow you to give because it's an ebb and a flow, right? It's like the wheel of fortune. Like I have to allow you to do that for me so I can do the same and pay it forward to somebody else, but so that you can continue to have your karma on the ebb and the flow, that equilibrium for your state of mind and for, your reciprocation and delivering and receiving. I had to really understand that concept. Like you're not just blocking yourself, you're blocking somebody else. So why would you even create, that gap? Don't do that. Like, so I just want to give like relatable stories to individuals. Like I know that's something that I know I definitely struggle with. And I'm not saying that I perfected it, but I'm
Mm.
definitely getting better. So I appreciate that.
Man, perfection is a journey. You
Yeah,
know, that's what I believe. I don't believe every time I learn something, it's like, man, we don't know nothing. Like
absolutely.
we don't know anything. The things that we're learning is old, old
Hmm.
information that we're catching up to, and we're
Yeah.
still trying to get to the. But perfection is just a journey, man. It looks like I think what we think perfect is just a moment that we
Right.
see in whatever we see, because then that next they could have a extremely what would look like an imperfect moment, but it's just not even that. It's just life is this is life. Like life is that water, and it's like sometimes this water is still. Sometimes it is the ship can tip over. You know what I mean? This is just life. Learn. I think we just gotta learn at every moment that presents. You know, whatever is presented, just enjoy it. Learn. Be there with it. Be present. And that's perfect. If it's anything called perfection, it's like that's the balance of the both. Duality.
Duality.
Duality is
Real.
perfect. I would say.
Yep. That's real. You took the words right out my mouth. It's duality and polarity and everything. And I knew of the concept before, but the year of 2022 really like drove that concept in. Like it really developed what duality and polarity really meant for me. Just like you said with the water, like it can either quench your thirst or it can drown you. That's facts. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, it's like it's your intention behind it as well. And it's that balance of what you know from what you don't know, but what you catering yourself towards too. Are you catering yourself towards the fear of you being drowned, or you catering yourself towards that love of having your thirst quenched? You know what I mean? So and love and fear cannot reside in the same arena. It just it can't.
Look,
So what are
man,
you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? We all have the power of free will at the end of the day. So what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You have the will to be able to make these decisions, but what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And these are questions that you ask yourself. It's rhetorical. This is not for like, somebody to give me an answer, like I'm looking for an answer, but it's more for you to ask yourself, to build that trust in yourself, that loyalty to yourself. So when you do make those decisions, you're not going out and getting some secondhand advice just to reinforce what you're thinking for you. You know what I mean? So
in that, I want to add to that because in that you have to understand who yourselves are and like really understanding yourself to be able to make that. differentiate, like the to know the difference in your higher self, your lower self, but actually know. I think a lot, like, so for me, I'm in the space of really, really mastering my lower self,
Mm,
like extremely. I think all up until now, I had been just thinking that I was in my higher self. And so, like, say, growing up in Christian, being a Christian, once you get saved, you feel like you're in your higher self. It's like, oh, my sins are forgiven. I'm in my higher self, and then you can start coming off judgmental to things that seem beneath yourself, and it's actually, that's an illusion. Forever, we're gonna have our higher self and our lower self, and if we try to deny what our actual lower self is, it's gonna show up, it's going to continue to show up, and we're not going to be able to even see that that's what's showing up. We're going to call every broken relationship someone else's fault. We're going to look at everything that happens and we respond negatively as, a problem for them or whatever. It's always outer until we understand our lower self, and it's like, oh no,
yeah,
it's always me. It's always how I'm seeing it, how I'm responding. It's always my lower, like, the my darkness, and a lot of us don't want to acknowledge that we have extreme darkness, just like we have extreme high and bright. We got extreme darkness. If you don't know what that darkness is, it's gonna show up. And so it's like, to know your lower self and know your higher is gonna be able to know your higher self. It's gonna I think that it makes it easier to be in your higher self when you know your lower self. Without
absolutely.
that, and you just being thinking that, you're in the high and you got it. It's like, you're not gonna be able to understand what comes. You're gonna just It's just an imbalance. I can't even explain it better than that. But
Yeah,
I have been mastering my lower self extremely and not dodging it, and just really looking at my shadow and just knowing, like, nope, that's you, and
all
that's
the
you,
way. Yeah,
that's you, and that's you, and fix that. And once I'm, mastering that, it's like, man, that's give you an unbeatable code to this, all of this life, that we going through. It's like, nah, everything is you. All your bad decisions is you.
it's you.
Every bad encounter is you. You feel me? So I've been extremely there and at peace with that, man.
Mhm. That's real. It's wild that you say that because it's like it's making peace with all of my reflections because everything
Mm.
is not just happening to me haphazardly. Why I'm facing these adverse situations is because this is something within me that I need to figure out and work out. And I used to wonder why I just kept going through this cyclic motion of all these situations that are similar that keep happening. But when they keep happening, it's like they was getting bigger, you know? And it's like, but I was giving my attention to it. And what you give your attention to, it grows, right? So it started off small, but then it just started getting bigger and bigger. And I was like, you know what? I don't want this to get so out of control to where I just don't know what's going on. So just like you said, I had to embrace my darkness. I had to really sit in my darkness. But I appreciate my darkness so much and I respect that space in my life. And it's like, you know how they say that you have your demons and things of that nature, but I got to know who they were. I got to know their names. I got to know how they was acting, what they was responding. What are your triggers? You know what I'm saying? And by me being in my darkness, it was like I was able to really recognize the stars. Because you wouldn't even be able to recognize the stars if it wasn't for darkness. You wouldn't be able to recognize or understand what light is if it wasn't for the night. So it was that beautiful balance that I know that I had to come into terms with for myself, you know. And but the thing is, I didn't wallow in my darkness. I just found that place of peace with it. You know what I'm saying? And learn how to transmute that energy because energy cannot be created or destroyed, but it can be transmuted. So it's like I had the right energy, but the wrong target. So I was just targeting, you know what I'm saying? Like all these. adverse situations and they were coming back to me. And I had to really hone in on who I was, these situations I was getting myself involved in, why, and what do I need to do in order for this not to be such a reoccurrence. You know, you wondering why you keep facing the same type of people or you keep getting the same type of relationships. What is it about you that keep attracting that? You
Nah,
know? So I really had to
that
learn
take
that.
awareness. That take
Yes,
awareness.
self-awareness is like so pivotal and essential,
And
you
see,
know.
that's why I see why people like therapy. Even that's what all forms of help is supposed to be what that is. Like that's what people go to church for. That's what people go to therapy for.
Correct.
Go to whatever because you're trying to find help. You're trying to find some level of awareness or some. You're trying to hear something that's gonna make you be more aware of yourself.
Yeah.
And so it's like whatever it takes to get to that space for you to hear, like be total honest with the mirror and be like, nah, that's me.
Facts.
Is that's because I used to be super against like all these different forms, and I was like fighting it when I was even in my still lower. I was like fighting against all forms of help because I'm like, man, it's sure it's you, but then it's like, man, what does it take for a person to realize that you need to hear maybe a conversation? You need to hear. Maybe you need to go to therapy. Maybe you need to go to the pastor. Maybe you need to go wherever you need to go to somebody to point you back to you
Mhm.
and to show you how to look at yourself and really, be aware of like, because it take a man. If you're not aware, you're gonna just keep thinking that everything else is everybody else and everything else.
Right. It takes awareness and accountability because you can be aware and not do nothing about it. Like, yeah, I know I'm jacked up, but okay, it is what it
Man,
is.
and
You know
that's
what I
crazy. And I know exactly what you mean. We see this. We see people with the I don't. And like I said, I was like when you met me I was a kid, and I think it's all of us and are just young.
mean?
That's
Mhm.
how we are. I was like, that's why I'm so I stand so strong on like truth because I stood so strong on ignorance when I was young. I was on dumb shit happily. Like I was, yeah, I don't care, I don't give a fuck, and just stupid and happy about it. Pridefully just standing on ignorance, and it's like, man, if you don't know, yeah, you will be excited, hype, excited about anything. You know what I mean? Excited, happy to go to McDonald's.
Mhm. Right. Exactly. It's just like you were saying. Everything that you digest, you know what I'm saying, is a part of you. Period. Like it's all health. Like even um, like the foods. Like I want to digest things that are living because I'm living. And when I start to digest things that are dead, then I start to think like I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? Like not so much as a literal, but figuratively for those who may not understand where I'm coming from. I'm gonna give a little example. Like living in live foods, like the fruits and the vegetables, what I can pick from the vine, what I'm growing. You know what I'm saying? That's what's giving me all the information and the things that I need to help sustain me and catapult me throughout my day, opposed to getting, you know what I'm saying, the high carbs, all this fast food, you know what I'm saying, fried stuff, things of that nature. Like it may be good, but it's not good for you. And it's actually dead. You know what I'm saying? So why keep digesting all of that? In conjunction with that, you can have a person who is what you want to call the vegan, who goes to the gym, you know what I'm saying, 8 times a week,
Mhm.
but if they are digesting toxicity through social media, through the conversation, through engagements with other people, you just as unhealthy as old boy who eat McDonald's every single day. Because it's full circle. It's everything that you digest and everything you put into your system. You know what I'm saying? When you start looking at that, like I'm having conversations about life. You know what I'm saying? I'm having, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at podcasts talking about living things. You know what I'm saying? Like things that's bringing life to me or bringing me enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I'm engaging in conversations that, you know what I'm saying, raising my awareness and, you know what I'm saying, increasing the frequency of where I am right now. in conjunction with what I'm eating, what I'm digesting, what I'm saying, what I'm even putting on my body, what I'm saying, from the perfumes and the lotions and stuff like that. Like, you got to be cognizant of all that stuff that's going into you, on you, around you. Like, it takes a full calibration, recalibration of your whole environment and your whole life and the things that you do and that's applicable to you in order for you to understand what's best for you.
I
Instead of
call
me
it
going,
I call it,
mm-hmm,
not to cut you off, I call it the
good.
God diet. Like, cause I'm not
Yeah,
a vegan. I'm not a vegan at all. Like,
absolutely.
I'm not a vegan. I got a
Yep,
lot of friends in the vegan community, and a lot of like they do a lot of business, so I
facts.
support their business. And shout out to the whole vegan community because I know what they're trying to do and what they're trying to stand for.
Yeah.
But essentially, we all are created in God's image. We
Mm-hmm.
are God's children. I really just try to intake God, what God put here on earth in every form. If man made it, I just don't want it. That's
Right.
just really, I can break that down in 100 ways, but it's just really simple. If it's produced by man, no. If it's produced by God, yes. And if it's coming from man, we have to be able to discern. If we're listening, we have to be able to discern if this coming from God or not. And so far as food, it's easy. Man, we can't make water. We like so it's like, okay, that's God put that here for us. So this is all the things that's coming out of the earth that grow on trees.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming from God. So these are things that so it's like, if it don't come out the ground, if we're just really not, he put the food that we're supposed to be here. We're distracted by the business of America. The marketing of the fast, it's just marketing. I haven't been a fast food in so like by like 7 years, but like it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So the I'm so far removed, but it's and that's all I'm about to say. It's in order to get there, man, it's about how we think about food. We so emotionally connected to eating. If
Mm-hmm.
we gotta break that part and not eat off of emotions and develop, so like everybody doing like Ramadan right now.
Yeah.
That's so, but if that really was meant like for a lifestyle, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you live a lifestyle of fasting, then that's you're gonna like not,
You're not going to be so codependent on food.
you're not gonna even be turned on by the marketing of it. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? You're gonna see that, like, man, it's all tricks to get us to be unhealthy, to get us to die. That's not God. So then you will look at everything that comes from that in a way that's like, man, that's meant to kill me. All of these marketing signs, all of the McDonald's signs, the Burger King signs, everything big and flashy is only inviting us to take our life, whether that's financially or physically. Literally, if we come to that my understanding, and then then we then come, because that forces us to come together and build together, build restaurants together, build clothing brands together, like whatever, that'll help our network get back to where it's supposed to be, and that's God, you know.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
But
it's a
when you,
God diet, man. Intaking everything that God made, listening to the people that is actually speaking from His voice, and that come through so many different. You definitely speaking from God. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to be able to discern where that's coming from, where life is coming from,
yeah.
and we see where death is coming from. You know what I mean? I'm in this music industry. That's just, man. I don't even want to get into that, but it's like, it's clear that who's speaking for death and who's speaking for life. And
Absolutely.
it's just up to us to be able to discern that and choose. I want the things of life, the
Mm-hmm.
things that's going to bring life, that's going to yield life, that's going to support life.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's another thing on the food tip. When you look at these billboards, you never see them advertising big baskets of fruit. You don't never see, you know what I'm saying? Even if you're going in the grocery store, those those aisles before you approach the cashier, what do you see on those aisles?
You
You don't
right?
see apples
Snacks,
and oranges,
cookies.
cookies, chips. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that's
They not
detrimental
gonna
to our
advertise
system.
God. That's the whole part. Nothing's gonna advertise God. It's us. Like we gotta advertise God in every form. We gotta advertise God food.
And they capitalize off of that because as many trees that there is in the US, why don't you have fruit trees just easily dispensed when you walk outside? Why is there not an orange tree outside or an apple tree out there? It's so many trees, like, but why aren't any of them, you know what I'm saying, cultivated in order for us to
Oh
just go out
man,
and pick?
then to go literal, pollen. They put so man that they took all the trees that yield fruit and they put and so so in Michigan, we have it get around fall time, pollen is just everywhere.
Yeah.
They've put trees literally. They put the trees that yield pollen in because of what pollen does to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping people in the hospital, keeping them sick, keeping them taking medications, you know what I'm saying? Keeping them on that Zyrtec and that Claritin and all that for what?
And
You
took
know,
all the fruit seed. I mean, the trees for that yield fruit, and like kept them for business and like
well, business and commerce. Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to be healthy, baby, it comes with a price. You know what I'm saying? Why do you feel like all the healthy stuff it costs more? You know what I'm saying? But you can go to McDonald's and get you a double cheeseburger and a fry, get you a whole meal for $4 or $5. But if you're trying to eat healthy, it's gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a nice little ticket. So what are you gonna really invest in? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna invest in yourself. You know, it's like you give your best to everybody else, but you want to shortchange yourself at the end of the day. But how is that healthy? How's that health? How's that wealth? You know, so it's like it's so many things that go into, retrospect of us being our best selves, living on our God body. You know what I'm saying? Like, stance and being who we need to be in order for us to carry out our greatest selves and our highest selves at the end of the day. And going back to when you were talking about you are mastering your lower self, a lot of people they run away from their lower self because through social engineering, that's not what's shown. If you look at the feed, everybody is trying to show their best selves. You don't really see people showing like their struggle or um their adversities or the things that they're going through that may not be what they feel like the public will want to see. So people internally, it's like they shut that part of themselves off as if it
yeah,
doesn't exist. But when it
yeah,
comes back up, it's like that pressure cooker effect. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just been hidden for so long and it been piling up for so long. And then just boom, it just explodes, because you never took the time to try to sort that that part out about you. Now that integrated with all the BS that you put into your system, you're a ticking time bomb. You know what I mean? So how can you ever, you know what I'm saying, want to attract or manifest this?
right there. You just said it. That's the equation to why. That's the whole part. That's like that's it's like you just broke down what poverty is. A poverty mind, a poor mind. It's like filled with lower self, and then you're putting nothing but toxic food in your body,
Hmm.
toxic TV. Where even watching so like I don't watch like I haven't watched a police officer kill a black man. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that come on the viral videos if like it's about to be a murder. I don't
Right.
watch it. Like I'm not. But these things go viral. It's like somebody's watching it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like
Body.
that's consumption. It's like all toxic consumption is going to add to yourself. And it's like
Hmm.
if that's so it's like big business thrives off of our lower self. They're marketing to our lower self.
Hmm. Yeah.
Everything. I mean, in every way, man, down to we don't even. This is what we don't like. What we don't talk about is how lust is the biggest part of our lower self, and
Yeah.
how porn is the biggest industry. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in every way, sex is being marketed to us. You know what I'm saying? Even when they sell food, when they sell drinks, it's like it's a sexual. You know what I'm
Time.
saying?
Yeah.
they selling beer and it's like this girl that got a bikini on. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything is selling to our lower self, and it's like we just gotta. It takes conversations like this, and us sharing that conversation for us to be more aware of like, oh, this is what's happening, and to be able to choose like, nah, you get what I'm saying? Because they're
Absolutely.
like I said, they not gonna market nothing. That the health is not gonna be marketed.
Hmm.
They only gonna market vitamins and medicine, right?
Yep.
So
But an ounce of prevention weighs more than a pound of cure. I've always said that. So if you prevent yourself from even endeavoring in anything like that, you won't have to do the backtrack and sit up here taking all these medicines where they broadcast on a commercial talking about, well, you can get XYZ and everything else if you take this medicine. It could be detrimental and fatal, and you can just potentially just die. But it'll get rid of what your problem is. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you even do that? And then going back to the commercialization of all the unhealthy things in porn, if you look at it, what color is the root chakra? It's red.
I'm about to say
If,
red, yeah.
yep. If you look at all majority of the fast food restaurants, it's red. They have red somewhere in there. If you look at Pornhub or whatever it is, they got some red in there. And
Listen, they studied us.
yeah,
That's why we have to study ourselves. That's what go back to what I was saying. Man, that's so good. They
yeah,
studied us. They
hmm,
know what how to market us, how to speak to us, to our subconscious, how to they really understand us. We have to understand us.
ourselves. We have to understand this. They know us better than we do our own self.
We gotta understand ourselves, man. You gotta
Hmm.
know your high, and that's two. We got everybody got two. You got a lower self, you got a higher self. Understand yourself, and we can everything else will be prevented.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah,
Stay.
you're right. They have mastered marketing to us to our lower, putting
Yep.
red our that chakra everywhere.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if anybody who out there who listening, if you pay attention, you just ride around and you just look at all the fast foods. They all have some incorporation of red, all of them. You know what I'm saying? It's targeting your lower self, your lower chakra. So it's like you just got to be cognizant of even the labeling in in the stores on the food, like the advertisement. What color is it, you know? Like just pay attention to all that, and then just pay attention to the colors of the chakras and see what they're trying to target. You know, it's all broken down. It's like a formula. Nothing is happening haphazardly. And when you start to pay attention to that, then you start to understand what's for you and what's not for you. That free will, that discernment, learning what your intuition can tell you or what can help you avoid certain situations. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is within you. You know, we need to get back to the earth. It's all a cyclic motion, because once you die, it's just your physical body may decay, but it's going right back to the earth, and the earth is utilizing it to yield more fruit for what's coming. Then whoever's living going to eat from the earth. You know what I mean? And it's all a cyclic effect to just go right back around. So you, when it's time for your avatar to no longer exist in this realm, what's going to happen? It's going to decay and then go right back into the earth. And then what? They're going to eat from the earth and come right back. So it's just, you just have to understand and just pay attention and just know what's going on around to make it
Man,
better.
you
Yeah,
just
man.
said everything.
Absolutely. I ain't say everything. Like you said, I don't know nothing. You know, this is just
Now you just
a
been
lot
paying
of
attention.
experience.
That's what it's what's beautiful that we're in the space of this space of information, and we all are just it's like us, and it's not everyone, but we can see who is coming into understanding, enlightenment, and just knowledge of self, and
Absolutely,
that's really beautiful to see, and and it's showing up in different in everyone. Like we can see it shows up in differently in through in us all in different ways, and it's just beautiful to be able to see that,
for sure.
see that and hear that and be a part of that.
It is beautiful. And I truly appreciate this conversation, bro. Do you have, any last words or conceptualized notions that you would like to share?
I think we have had a great conversation, and I think I want to end it off with, far as me just saying, to just encourage everyone just to keep love, man, at the center and the focus. That's it, man. Keeping love the center and the focus, and through love, everything will be right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all heard it. He said it. I appreciate it. Another great conversation. Wonderful. High vibrational. I truly appreciate you, bro. I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. I appreciate the high vibrations and the positive energy, the wholeness in it. You know what I'm saying? So tomorrow there will be another catalyst conversation just to let you guys know with this wonderful young lady that I feel like is a queen. Her name is Jocelyn. She does art. She has her own business. I'm not gonna give away too much because I'm gonna let that be for tomorrow's segment. But please tune in for tomorrow. And once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, bro. I truly appreciate your presence here on this live and
Thank
making
you,
it
man, and much success to your job. It's beautiful.
appreciated for
This
sure.
is
We might
beautiful.
have to do a part two for real because
Definitely,
there's so many
definitely. Let
things
me
that we
know.
did cover. But for
Definitely.
sure. But everybody, y'all be sure to have a wonderful rest of y'all day to catapult you into an even better week. And then I'll see y'all. Peace.